Hi, I'm Katie.
And I'm Koli.
Welcome to the SVU Coven podcast, Little Witch Detectives. Oh,
Hi.
hi. Your hair looks good.
Thank you.
That's cute. Long time no see.
I know.
How are you?
I'm good.
That's good.
I'm tired, but I'm good.
Yeah, it is early on a Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah. I changed my outfit twice before I was like, it's too hot. I need a tank top. And then I couldn't find a tank top. And so then I was like, okay, this one will do. Okay, I apologize in advance, everybody. I am having very bad allergies, so I might be sneezing and sniffling my way through this episode. So,
Yes.
audio listeners, especially, apologies for that.
Yes.
Um, shall we get into our witch talk?
Yes.
Okay, this is the witch talk. It's the corner of the intro of our show where we catch you guys up on what we've been doing. And it's always a little redundant because Coley and I talk almost every day, so we know. But now you guys get to know. So what have I been doing? The biggest news in my life, aside from what we're gonna talk about later, um, is I lost my job again. So back on the job hunt. Third time's the charm. Hopefully I will find something.
Yeah.
But that has been taking over much of my thought process lately.
hmm
So, it sucks, but it's just the nature of being in media these days.
Yeah.
So, I'm actually, I think I'm going to focus on, I don't know if I've told you this yet, actually, but I'm going to try to apply for grant writing. So if
hmm
anybody that listens to this is looking for a remote grant writer, hit me up. Um,
Yes.
because I would love to write grants for a nonprofit. And I think I would be very good at that just because my main editorial history is in the combination of sales and writing. So I
hmm
think I'd be able to like pitch grants well, you know?
Yeah.
So if
Have you
anybody,
taken a grant writing class?
no, but I'm planning to.
Okay.
And then I have a friend that's a grant writer who sent me a bunch of like materials to study and stuff.
Yeah.
And she also sent me her resume so I could tailor mine towards grant writing.
hmm
So I'm thinking that just
That'll
feel,
be fun.
yeah, I think it's a good combination of my experience, as well as something that could potentially be more stable.
Yeah.
So if anybody knows anything, hit me up. Um, but yeah, so that's been like my main thing going on. And then obviously we're going to talk about this in a minute, but I did just get back from New Jersey. So that was really fun aside from my airport experience, which I think I'm going to tell the story on the
Yeah.
podcast.
You have to.
I have to. But other than that, what's going on this week? Oh, on Saturday, one of my best friends from college, he just moved to my hometown, funny enough. He's not from my hometown, but he just moved there. Um, he's having a housewarming party this weekend that's like Hawaiian themed, like a Jimmy Buffett kind of moment.
Nice.
Really excited and proud of him, and he's queer, and the majority of our friends from college and his friends are queer, so it'll be kind of like a little gathering of the gays.
Yes.
So I'm excited about that. I'm going to do that tomorrow. Riley, if you're listening to this, I love you. Sometimes I think sometimes he listens. So but that's what I got going on this weekend. Oh, there's a little place. You would love this. There's a little like outdoor mall near my apartment where they have like a little stage with a giant screen on it. And they're showing the Braves game on it this weekend for free. So you can like go and visit the brewery at the mall and get a drink and then go sit and watch baseball.
Nice.
So I'm taking my boyfriend to do that because it's free.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, free. Say less.
Yeah.
So, um, but yeah, I think that's all going on with me aside from talking about the trip later on.
Yeah.
So what's going on with you?
Um, Not much. PT, work, you know. Um, we have a dinner tomorrow night, steak and lobster dinner.
Oh, fun.
So I'm gonna be itchy tomorrow.
At the golf course?
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
yeah,
That'll be fun.
yeah. I'm gonna be itchy tomorrow though, because
Itchy?
I'm allergic to shellfish,
Oh, right, right, right.
right? Yeah.
I forget about that sometimes. Oh, but are you cooking or are you just participating?
I'm not cooking. Um, I don't know if I'm gonna be working.
Hmm,
Yeah.
gotcha. Well, is that all going on for right now?
Oh, I'm going to Lesapalooza officially.
Oh, yeah, you got your shirt.
I got my shirt, I got my ticket. My aunt's coming with me.
Oh, did she get her ticket?
Yes.
Oh, yay. I'm so
Yeah.
excited. That'll be so fun for you guys.
Yeah.
Hmm.
We're only
Um,
going for the day on Saturday. On the Saturday of Lesapalooza.
hmm.
Um, because that's gonna be all I can handle. So,
Honestly, that's how I prefer festivals these days. Like for Pride, I only went for one day because I kind
yeah.
of got to experience everything I needed to
Mm-hmm.
without exhausting myself, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. Um, and I almost feel like it's more fun just to like pack it into one day and then you can use the next day to rest.
See, there's things that happen on like Sunday that we won't get to participate in, like the
Yeah.
Drag King brunch, um, that I really enjoy, and
Hmm.
like Friday night icebreakers and stuff like that. Um, so I do enjoy like the full 3 days. I just
Yeah,
don't have the energy for it this year.
that's okay. At least you get to
Hopefully
go.
next year.
Yeah. Are Lesapalooza and Lunar Fair close together,
What do you mean?
like date wise?
Um, Lunar Fair always runs on the new moon and the full moon,
Mm,
and then Lollapalooza is the last weekend in September.
gotcha.
So I don't know what the full moon schedule or what the moon schedule is like in September, but
Yeah. I was just curious because I'm already planning my next trip. It's happening. But
yes.
that'll be so fun. I'm glad you at least get to go, you know?
Yeah.
That'll be cool. Well, is that
And I got a new camping chair. It's like an oversized camping chair and it's heated.
oh,
So I can bring that with me to Lollapalooza and sit in that.
that's so nice.
And it's like comfy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Such a good idea. Especially because it might get chilly.
Yeah. It was like $60, but it was worth it.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, you also got your fancy new iPad.
I do. I got my fancy new iPad, and made some merch designs with it
Mm-hmm.
and traced a picture of Mariska.
It was
Um,
really good though.
yeah. And I got a Kindle. Bless you.
Thank you. You got a what?
A Kindle.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
It just came in like 2 days ago.
Oh, I love my Kindle. I'm addicted to that thing.
Yeah. I'm now reading Failure is Not an Option by Patrick Hines because
Hmm.
I've been listening to this podcast, the Golden Girl Tea Bag podcast, shout out. Um, Not that I think they'll listen, but shout out anyway. Um, but I listened to this podcast and I found out that Patrick grew up with a lesbian mom.
Hmm.
I was like, that's so cool. And someone was like, you should read his book if you want like more personal information about him. So I got it and I read the first chapter last night and I'm hooked.
Is it good?
Yes.
Oh, I might have to look into that.
It's not very PC,
Mm,
but I think that's okay.
yeah, I think in some contexts it's all right.
Yeah.
Well, that's so exciting. I didn't know about the Kindle.
Yes.
Wow. Um,
Yeah. And I got a new lamp for my bedroom. It's not here yet, but I ordered it. It's a charging lamp that has like C charging ports so I can charge my phone and my
mm,
iPad
that'd
and
be nice.
everything because
Mhm.
everything is now C charger.
Yeah. USB-C.
Yeah.
Um, that's so fun. If you guys didn't know, Coley and I used once upon a time were English majors,
Yes.
so we love a good book.
Yes.
Um,
I find that I like memoir a lot.
me too. Me too. I'm
Yeah.
still finishing up that Paris Hilton memoir. I
Mhm.
started listening to it when I flew to New Jersey. I'm listening to the audiobook because I have it for free through my Libby app, so from my library. But it's so good. She's
Yeah.
so interesting and so much smarter than people give her credit for.
Yeah.
Um, it gives like a Pamela Anderson energy about
Yeah.
it.
I
But
have Katie Couric's memoir
mhm,
on my Kindle in audio form.
I think I have it. Like I had the physical book.
Yeah. It's such a good book.
Mhm.
I've listened to it twice. I'm probably gonna listen to it again.
I like reading her. I follow her on LinkedIn and she posts her newsletter there too, I think.
Yeah.
Because I get it in my
Wake up
email.
call at work.
Yeah, I get it in my email and I read it.
Yeah.
We love Katie.
Yes.
All right. Speaking of people we love,
Yes. Let's go into the Mariska corner.
let's do it.
Um, Mariska is officially back from vacation.
Hmm.
She got her Italian award that I'm not going to try to say because I don't take Italian, I take French.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and SVU has started filming again.
Yes.
I skipped
Have-
ahead.
That's okay. We can just do it all
We
together.
can,
I should have put them together anyway.
yeah.
Um,
SVU has started filming again.
this week.
This week,
Mm-hmm.
uh, 2 days ago, I believe. Um,
Ice has been tweeting about it.
yes.
As per usual. Um, it's a weird squad right now though for this season. I
Yeah.
I don't know. It just feels a little boys clubby again.
Yeah.
Uh,
There have been no like major cast changes as of yet, so no
yeah.
Kelly yet. But that doesn't mean later in the season she won't join.
Yeah, I'm just happy they're filming.
Yeah, me too.
I'm just happy we still have a show. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna shit on anything.
My aunt and I were talking yesterday because they're going into the city on Saturday because my aunt Tara is coming up from Tennessee.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
If she can fly because there's a major like tech issue affecting like all airports right now,
Yeah, and Microsoft is
and
down.
Microsoft is down. So, so if my aunt Tara and her son can get here, they're going to the city on next Saturday. Not this Saturday, next Saturday.
Is
Um,
she flying out of Nashville or Atlanta?
I have no idea.
Hmm. Interesting.
But they're going into the city, and I was like, I wish I had the energy to go into the city because my aunt was like, you're welcome to do anything that we're doing, like tag along or whatever. I was like,
Hmm.
I wish I had the energy to go into the city, and she's like, I know. And she's like, what about if like you, me, Zoe, and George go into the city one day, or even just you, me, and George can just drive us around and because
Voluntold.
George, yeah, George drives in the city,
Hmm.
so we wouldn't have to take cabs everywhere we go, and we're not
Yeah.
walking. So, she was like, why don't we just do that? And, you know, we can do what we want. And I said something about set stalking. And she's like, is that easy? I was like, yeah, they post the information on location vacations.
Mm.
The only thing is, I don't have the energy to stand to wait 8 hours for Mariska.
And it's
And
hot.
yeah. And she was like, oh, we'll bring a folding chair
Mm.
and you can just sit.
I have a friend who does that. She is also handicapped, but when she goes to
Hmm.
concerts and stuff, she brings little folding chairs or folding wheelchairs so
Hmm.
that she can sit up in the front even if she pays general admission. And I've always thought that was really smart.
Yeah.
You know,
Um,
just camp out for Mariska.
yeah, seriously. And I
Like,
feel like if she sees me sitting, she'll be more likely to come over.
yeah.
I don't know. But SVU is back officially October 3rd is the premiere date. I
Mean
don't
Girls
know why
Day.
it's so late. It's Mean Girl today.
Mhm.
I don't know why it's so late. Um, One Chicago was back the week before. So there must be something like in the NBC schedule that's going on Thursdays at that
Yeah.
time that they're like, oh, we'll just push it back a week.
Yeah, it is kind of a late starting when they're filming kind of on time.
Hmm.
Um, but
I
I mean,
think the Olympics is messing with the schedule.
yeah, I was gonna say, I bet you it's like something NBC related that has nothing to do with us.
Yeah.
But either way, Mean Girls Day is cute.
Yes.
So it's fine.
Yeah.
Um, I think that's it for SVU and Mariska.
I think so. That
Okay.
Mariska's been pretty quiet on social media lately.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Oh, they had their Joyful Heart Beach walk in Southampton this past weekend.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool. I'm sure she's just like getting back to work and then also prepping her son for college.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming up.
August.
uh, so really quickly, before we jump into some fun stuff, I just want to give you your astrological weather report. So we are in Mercury retrograde shadow period right now, which means Mercury is going retrograde very, very soon. So you may start to notice technology and things of that nature start failing. Communication may get a little more difficult. Uh,
No. We say this as there's a huge technological issue that's affecting
the
global.
world,
Yeah.
yeah. And then also just if you live in the United States, you know what the political climate is like right now.
Yeah.
Uh, and communication is about to get more difficult. So it might
Oh
get a
God.
little more tumultuous before it gets better. Um, Aside from like world events and world news, personally, what you can take from this is just knowing, if tensions are high in your relationships and your friendships, whatever, it could just be miscommunication, especially because we tend to communicate digitally these days and things can always get misinterpreted over text.
Yeah.
Um, so just be mindful when you are communicating. If someone does get upset with something you say, self-reflect before you respond so you don't escalate. Um, and just understand that everyone's a little more sensitive right now.
Hmm.
Also, any big life changes be mindful when going into them during Mercury retrograde, because when Mercury comes out of retrograde, those decisions you made could have an opposite effect. So I always warn to be careful about moving, to be careful about like adopting a pet or trying to get pregnant. Just any kind of big life changes like that during Mercury retrograde are okay, because sometimes in life we can't avoid them,
Yeah.
but coming at them more mindfully and more self-aware will help the transitions be a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Um, I believe we're still in Cancer season, so because of that, emotions are going to be running high as we enter this retrograde. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like the double whammy of, hey, just relax, take a beat, it'll be okay. Just
We're at
trust.
the tail end of Cancer season. We're going
Yeah.
into Leo. Um,
Which is always a fun transition for me because it's my moon sign into my rising sign. So it's like, hey,
yeah.
everything's worse for you.
Speaking
Um,
of big life changes, I forgot to mention, I made a new friend because my aunt dragged our door dasher into
just
the
so
house.
her, if you know Coley's aunt.
She dragged her door dasher into the house and was like, she's a writer too. Discuss.
Mm, that's so cute.
Yeah.
Um,
And we've been talking on Instagram, so
also, well, I'll bring that up later. But I think that's it for astrology for this week.
yes.
Big emphasis on being mindful and self-awareness for the next month or two. As we enter Leo season 2, that will kind of get kind of funky because Leo brings like the confidence and the fire and the spark and the inspiration.
Yeah.
But for now, the note is self-reflection.
Yes.
Okay, so the next thing I want to jump into, I realize we've already been gabbing and yapping, but I just wanted to talk about the trip a little bit because we
Yeah.
didn't record an episode while I was there because honestly, we were just too busy.
Yeah.
Um,
We were doing something every single day
yeah.
and
And
we
we
like
hadn't even like come up with a episode concept before I got there.
no, and we were tossing around episode concepts while you were here,
Hmm.
but I think any episode concept we would have done except like a chat type thing would have been not possible because we wouldn't have been able to do notes and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So uh it just didn't work out. However, we did take some promotional photos, which I'm going to officially release when this episode comes out.
Okay.
Um, I kind of just decided that just because of the flow of our Instagram feed, but I have posted a cute little video from that day on our Instagram if you guys want to go see it. It's pretty cute. Um,
Yes.
and so that was fun. Shout out to Coley's aunt for that.
Yeah.
She really did the most.
She really did. And like I understand now what my aunt was saying by you look so stiff
Mm.
because
Well,
like in the video I look stiff.
we were just sitting.
Yeah.
So I feel like it was kind of hard to,
It's hard to not look stiff.
right. We were just like sitting on the couch. So,
And I didn't have anything in my coffee cup, so I was just holding it like this.
whereas I had coffee because I always have coffee.
Yes.
Shout out to George.
Yes.
But they're really cute, and I'm gonna post them when this episode comes out, like in tandem with the episode announcement. So follow us on Instagram at SVU Coven to see these cute little photos. And if you haven't already, check out the cute video I posted from that day.
Yes.
Um, but I feel as though I should share the airport story first. So we'll start at
Yes.
the beginning of the trip. I
Yes.
was I was flying out of Atlanta and I had like a 2 o'clock departure time. I don't think we left until 7 p.m. because I got there early. I have like a method to the Atlanta airport because it's the third biggest airport in the country, but it's also my hometown airport.
Hmm.
Um, and I've flown many a time out of it. So I know like to get there a little bit earlier because security takes a little bit longer than your average airport. And also I use airport parking. So I park and then get on a shuttle to go there. So, you have to be early,
Yeah.
kind of, an
I mean,
hour.
it's a good idea to be early to any airport because
Yeah.
security and all that stuff. So you
Yeah.
always like to be at least 2 hours early to any airport.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I was there exceptionally early, just being me, so I could get through security, get on my shuttle, all that fun stuff. And I'm sitting at my gate, just eating my lunch, like I knew I was an hour ahead of schedule. So I was like, I'll just get my book, I'll eat my lunch, whatever. When I arrived at the airport, my flight was already delayed. And then I get to my gate, I'm sitting there, whatever, and it's just delaying more and more and more. Then I swear they lied to us, but they were like, "Oh, we're just cleaning the plane and it's getting ready." So I'm texting Koli like, "Okay, I'm gonna be a little later. It's no big deal." Then they say that the plane coming in from Jamaica, they've got some issues with it. It was a Boeing plane. Like I don't know. It was an international flight, which was already weird that I was in the international section of the airport when I
Yeah.
was just flying to New Jersey. But then they moved us and they were like, get out of the international section, go to a different gate. So it takes us about half an hour to get to the other gate because you have to get on the train and, all that stuff. We get over there and they're like, okay, we're going to board soon. Soon turned into several hours of standing around waiting to get on the plane because
Yes.
they said it was going to be a different plane. They also checked my bag against my will because I was in zone 7. So I had no idea if my bags were going to be on the first plane or the second plane or what was going on. And they were holding us there saying they were cleaning for like 2 hours, but they were cleaning the plane we had just gotten off of. So it was
Yeah.
the same group of people. Like, and I realized that, the standard, especially when you're flying Delta, is, they want to have a clean plane. So regardless, they were going to clean it. I understand. But I personally don't believe that they were taking that long just to clean the plane. Um,
That
but I
plane
don't,
better have been the cleanest plane
and
ever.
it wasn't. So then finally they're boarding. Finally they're boarding. I am in the second to last zone, so I know it's gonna take me a long time to board. And I'm like texting Koli, like, oh my God, oh my God. I get to the front of the line and I open my Delta app and it says, hey, you need to check in again. So I'm like, okay, I will check in again. No worries. I click the button and it doesn't load. Nothing happens. So I'm at the front of the line. I scan the boarding pass I had saved in my Apple wallet and it flags and says I'm not on the plane. And I'm like, oh my God. So I'm talking to this guy and I just start sobbing. And I'm like, I just want to get on this plane. I have been at this airport since noon. It is 7 p.m. I just want to fly to see my friend. That's all I want to do. And the guy
Yeah.
was like, okay, I'm going to put you on standby. And I was like, okay, fine, put me on standby. I don't care. Here's all of my information. I just want to board the plane. He puts me on standby, and I'm in the last seat in the back of the plane. And if you guys know me, you know that I am afraid of flying and have terrible motion sickness issues. So the back of the plane is not my ideal spot. My original seat was on the wing of the plane in the window.
Yeah.
Instead, I was in the back, last seat in the aisle. And I was like, fine, whatever. I get on the plane, I'm still like sobbing, and the flight attendants were like trying to comfort me as I got on, and they were giving me tissues and letting me know it would all be okay. And they even told me I could have my original seat back if no one else sat in it. But by the time I got to the back of the plane and sat down, I was so exhausted and hysterical that I was like, I'm just gonna sit here and just get to New Jersey.
Yeah.
And luckily somehow I made it. The second plane was also a Boeing. So, and my flight home was a Boeing.
Yeah.
But I finally made it, and Koli walked the length of the airport to come pick me up twice with her cousin Zoe, whom I love. Hi, if you're listening to this. Um, but yeah, it was just like a very tumultuous event
Yes.
getting to New Jersey. So we started the trip off high stress.
Yes.
High stress. Um,
And I was freaking out the whole time because I was like, they're gonna cancel her flight. They're gonna cancel her flight. Oh my God, what are we gonna do? I
I
was just panicking.
I
And
thought for sure if they canceled, I would be able to get on one the next day. But
mm,
I'm so glad it worked out because I didn't want to drive all the way home and stuff, then
yeah,
have to like round
do it
to it.
again.
But yeah. Um, my flight home was much easier, though I did have issues getting on the bus on the shuttle, but made it home.
Yay!
So uh
I
but
miss
yeah,
you
that was
already.
huh?
I miss you already.
I know, I'm in you. And we didn't even get to go shopping at those little stores I wanted to go to, so now I have to come back so we can go do that.
Yes.
But
You see my plan now.
uh but overall, I think we had a blast at the trip. We did a bunch of fun stuff. Went to
Yeah.
some crystal stores. We made, I'm gonna post pictures of this eventually, but we made what would Olivia Benson do friendship bracelets.
Hmm.
That was fun. And then we had Chloe's launch party, which was fun.
We had two lunch parties.
Two launch parties. We had the virtual
Yes.
one and the in-person one. The in-person one was the night that Trump got shot in the ear.
Yeah.
And we were just like hanging around. But I thought I had a great time. We did a lot of fun stuff, I feel like.
Yeah.
Mm.
We did.
And do
And
you
the virtual launch party went so well.
Mhm. I
And
thought
the
so.
in-person launch party went so well.
Mhm.
Even though I broke down in tears reading one of the pieces that I read 2 nights before.
I think it's like your aunt was saying, it was just different to have a room full of physical people that love you and care about you,
Yeah.
to read something so emotional to them and be so vulnerable.
Yeah.
But I thought it added to the power of everything, you know?
Yeah.
Um and the food was delicious.
Yes.
Um
And the cake was amazing.
mhm. And the decorations were super cute. I've posted on our story a little bit, but I can post some of the launch party photos as well.
Yeah.
But they were really
I
cute.
don't have any launch party photos. I didn't take
I
any.
I sent them all to myself from your aunt's phone, I think. But I think she has them all on
I'll
her.
ask her for them
Yeah.
after my Aunt Tara leaves because she's
Yeah,
like
all over.
frizzled right now. Frizzled? Frazzled.
Frazzled.
Yeah.
Miss Frizzle.
Miss
Um,
Frizzle is frazzled.
but yeah, I think we had a wonderful time. I almost
Mhm.
took Coley's dog home with me because she's my best friend. But we love Gabby.
Yes, we do.
Um,
Very much.
but yeah, do you have anything else you want to say about the launch party and stuff?
Um, no, but I want to show off my slippers that I got at the pharmacy.
Oh yeah, we went to this cute little pharmacy in Coley's hometown. That's one of my favorite stores, and they're so
It's
cute.
an add to cart kind of day.
Which, if you know Coley,
Let me tell you, I checked my bank account this morning. I had $3,500 from selling my car. I
mm,
have $80 left.
I believe that.
Yeah.
It's all right though. You deserve nice things.
Yeah.
Um, All right. Well, I am going to scurry through these announcements really quickly so we can get into the episode. But if you
Yes.
don't follow us on social media, we are on Instagram at SVU Coven, where I will be posting all of the stuff we just talked about. So you definitely want to check that out. We are also on Discord. We have a free Discord server. I'm trying to build the community over there. So while you're on Instagram, if you hit the link in our bio, you can join our Discord if you're interested. If social media is not really your thing, we do have an email. You can email us whatever you want. If you're interested in sponsoring the show, being on the show, or even just want to talk to us, Koli does check it. So someone is looking at them and will respond to you. And it's svucoven@gmail.com.
Yes.
Also, we have merch. So it's through Fourth Wall. We can send you those links as well as you can find them everywhere we post links pretty much.
Yeah.
We designed everything ourselves and we love them. Koli actually has two new designs on there.
3.
Three. And it's through Fourth Wall. The proceeds go to them as well as to us, and we put it back into the show. If you guys buy any of our merch, please send it to us or tag us, whatever, because we would love to see it.
Yes.
That would be so exciting.
One of the new merch designs is a stemless wine glass that says Harrietaville, established 1964 on it, and I love it
Yeah.
so much.
It's so cute. So yeah, definitely check that out. Tag us, send it to us if you buy any of our merch. We would be so excited.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is your episodic reminder to rate, review, subscribe, like, and comment. All of them actually help the algorithm a lot. Rating and reviewing and subscribing are the most important things you can do on a podcast app. They tell the algorithm that you like us and will recommend us to other people. Subscribing, liking, and commenting are really important on YouTube. They also tell the algorithm that you like us and will push us out to other people. We also have a coffee, and you can donate any amount of money you want. It's completely and totally voluntary, not mandatory at all. You can donate however much you want, and we'll put the money back into the show. And we appreciate the energy exchange for all of that.
All right. Shall we jump into our episode?
Yes.
All right. Well, let me do my self-love affirmation first. Back it up, Catherine. I call myself Catherine when I'm disciplining myself. So this week's self-love affirmation, I actually just gathered from my Pinterest. So on Pinterest, every January, I make a board for the year of things I want to manifest and like visualize into my life. And I went into that board just looking for anything that was inspirational to me. And the one that stuck out was this one. So when I focus on the good gets better. And I think a lot of this is like a good mindset shift. When you have stressful things going on in your life, like me losing my job, it's easy to feel negative and get discouraged and say harsh things to yourself. I am definitely the meanest to myself. I don't think anything anyone could say would be meaner than the things I have said to my own self, you know.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm
I
like that too.
Right. So my mantra for this week or in general is when I focus on the good gets better. It's a cliche for a reason, you know, and it's just true. When you are focusing on the good things in your life, you tend to have a more positive outlook on life, which would invites more positive things into your life. So if you are not operating heavy machinery, please close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth, and remind yourself that there are good things in your life. Focus on those things.
Yes.
And put that positive energy back into the negative things in your life so you can work to see the good throughout. Okay. Now, episode.
Yay.
Oh, remember to breathe
Yes.
and keep
Even
your
if
eyes,
you are operating heavy machinery.
yes, and keep your eyes open if you're driving, operating
Yes.
a forklift.
Yeah.
This has been a public service announcement. Okay. So we are covering season 3, episode 14 of Law and Order SVU called Counterfeit. I was curious if you had some insight into this episode because the way that they've arranged it is weird because Chris Maloney's only in it for like a split second. So I was
Yeah.
wondering if he was filming something else. And then Richard Belzer's leg is broken.
Yeah. They
And
were
it looked like,
probably doing tandem episodes.
that makes sense. Because it was like, this has a heavy focus on Olivia and Finn this episode,
Yeah.
and not as much of Munch and Stabler. And I can't remember if Richard Belzer broke his leg in real life or not, but they've kind of just incorporated it into the episode.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
I can't remember. I'll have to look that up if anyone knows.
But yeah, they were probably filming tandems.
Mhm.
Because they used to do that a lot back in 1.0.
Mhm.
Fandom speak. Sorry.
Yeah.
They did that a lot back in 1.0. They don't do it as much anymore.
Yeah.
Um,
It
because um like tandem episodes bring the core cast out to film another episode,
mhm.
and you can't really do that with Mariska because she is the show,
Yeah.
so people wouldn't watch, so they don't really do tandems anymore. At
Yeah.
least that's my theory as to why. I
It
could be
makes sense.
completely wrong. Yeah.
It does make sense. So we open on a police officer responding to an abandoned car report that was under a bridge. They are surprised to find that the car is in one piece, nothing's wrong with it. The keys are still in the ignition. And then they're a little less surprised when they find a body near the car. Um, this is so funny to me. It's a funny little tidbit, but Olivia shows up in a sparkly like cocktail dress. She looks stunning. Um, she was evidently on a date and she's kind of pissed that she has to be there. Finn says it's because Munch is sick, so he couldn't come to, or he couldn't respond to the scene. So Olivia had to meet Finn there. Melinda's there and compliments her dress immediately, which is really cute.
Didn't
And
Finn call him a hypochondriac? Call Munch a hypochondriac or something in this episode?
I think Olivia did. She was
Okay.
mad that
Yeah.
she had to leave her date to respond to the scene, and Munch said that, or Finn said Munch was sick, and then I think she calls him a hypochondriac. Um, which honestly makes sense with the way that he's conspiratorial.
Yeah.
But Melinda identifies the cause of death was massive head trauma, most likely from a big rock of some sort. The cops say that this area under the bridge was a lover's lane where people go to park and, get their smooch on. Um, and then Finn somehow just magically has the knowledge of how to bust open a trunk when you can't open it. And Olivia's like, "Were you a car thief in a former life?"
And his response is my favorite line in this episode. He says, "Nah, baby, Boy Scout, always prepared." I just
um,
love that he calls her baby.
mhm. It's their relationship dynamic is fun in this episode a little bit.
Yeah.
And then Olivia finds these huge bottle, and when I'm saying huge bottles of pills, that are labeled as Ritex. And then we done.
Dun dun.
Um, Finn then explains the case to Kragen. Kragen also compliments Olivia's attire. Um, they wonder what the Vic was doing under the highway if it wasn't to sell drugs. CSU found the car key hidden under the carpet, which indicates that the Vic didn't want anyone to know.
Hmm.
Olivia and Finn go to the lab to talk to her name's Paula, the victim. So Paula Grace's boss, she works in like a biotech type lab. They said they hadn't seen her since 8 p.m. the night before. They also tell the detectives that Paula liked to drive. Her parents had both passed away, and she doesn't currently have a boyfriend that they know of. He invited Paula, so her boss invited Paula often to the holidays with his family because he knew that she really didn't have anyone to spend that time with. Melinda tells the detectives that a rock killed Paula. It was a fatal blow to the skull, probably while she was trying to fight and get away from the perpetrator. She had jean like denim like fiber under her nails from scratching most likely, and they send those fiber samples off to the lab to, you know, test it, investigate, whatever. I've been putting LF for Olivia and Finn, and I don't know why, but putting OF was just too much for me. So I put LF.
I noticed that while you were writing notes because I was lurking while
Yeah.
you were writing notes. And I was like, who the fuck is L?
Yeah, L is for Olivia. I just put that because if I put OF, I would start saying the spicy site name.
Yeah.
And I didn't mean to. So Olivia and Finn go to talk to the lab guys who kind of lay out the scene, and they discover that the Ritex pills were fake. It was basically $1 million worth of sugar pills in those big bottles. Also in
A
all
lot
caps,
of sugar.
yeah. I put Paula is her name, Katie, remember it in all caps because I keep forgetting it because they call her Miss Grace a lot. Or
Yeah.
they call her Paula Grace. So if I alternate between those, y'all know why. Olivia and Finn go to Paula's apartment and interview her landlord. It is a stunning apartment. How do these people afford these stunning apartments in SVU?
Well, if she was selling $1 million worth of sugar pills.
Yeah, that's fair. It just reminds me of Olivia Benson's twin bed, but
Yeah.
I digress.
Her twin
So,
bed that she shared with Brian Cassidy for a night.
this big.
The little
Um,
baby bed.
so Paula, they're looking around her apartment and she has a lot of luxury brand items, Gucci, things like that. Finn says living above her means you ladies are all alike. And I was like, shut up. Not be quiet.
Yeah.
Um,
Especially because we see his apartment in later seasons and it's
I
pretty nice.
play video games, okay, and Odafin Tutuola spends a lot of money on video games. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Um, so they go to, so Paula was planning on moving, and they find this out after going to her original apartment, and she was hoping to move in with her boss and his family. So Olivia and Finn go to interview one of the wife of her boss, basically. I put previous landlords because they are, but also that.
Yeah.
Um, she had said she wanted to live closer to her office, which is why she wanted to move in with them. Paula hated taking the train every day, and they think the wife is being cheated on with Paula. So they think Paula's boss, Kevin, has a relationship with her. They head back to the squad room from here, and suddenly Munch is walking by on crutches. And it's just kind of like random because they're standing there talking about the case, and then Munch is just like hobbling
Hobble.
across
Hobble.
the room.
Hobble.
And then Finn goes, "Oh, I can't wait to hear this." I wrote I miss Belle's frowny face
Yeah.
because it's kind of funny because immediately after they're like laughing at Munch, and Munch goes, "Your sympathy is overwhelming." Um, he claims to Stabler he wiped out riding a Harley. Um, and
He
this is
would
the only
though.
time, huh?
He would though.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And this is the only time you see Elliot in the whole episode. Well, I think maybe one other time, but it's very brief. And they say it's because he's working on a trial right now, so he's being called to the courthouse, which is why he can't help too much. But he did run a background on Paula for everybody, so thanks for that, Elliot. Um, now the squad debates why the drugs could possibly be fake. Munch thinks that she's a mole, and that she's blowing the whistle on her own company, which we find out to be true. She's working with the feds. Um, Olivia and Finn bring in Paula's boss to talk to him again. His name's Kevin. Kevin paid for Paula's apartment and her car, and the wife never knew, hence why they believe there was cheating going on. They claim that Kevin seduced Paula to help him out with his lab scheme to make a ton of money. Paula was working for the feds, and Kevin seemed surprised by this, and he says he did not kill her. Paula wanted Kevin to leave his wife, which he wasn't going to do, and she threatened revenge, and then he lawyers up, pretty much.
Yeah.
At that point, Cragen pulls Olivia and Finn out and says they are handing him over to the FBI because there's a new victim, and Elliot and Olivia go to the scene.
Olivia and Finn.
Oh, yes, thank you. Olivia and Finn go to the scene. Olivia talks to the victim, and her name is Francesca. A man made her get out of the car. She thought he was going to kill her, and she didn't see his face, but she can confirm he was wearing a blue uniform and that he was a cop. So an interesting thing, we will be hopping into our spell break, but an interesting thing
Yes.
I want to say is one of my biggest fears ever is getting pulled over. And not because I've done anything wrong. I've been pulled over a lot for speeding. I drive fast. I live in Atlanta. It's just the way it is. But my fear is being pulled over by a cop at night and having them assault me.
Yeah.
And so this episode really brings awareness to the fact that does happen. You know, just cop.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
now for our spell break.
Spell break. So this is coming out July 22nd. It is, let's see, the color of the day is silver.
Ooh.
And the incense of the day is narcissus. And this is the Lenoid Flame of Transformation. It's that fabulous time of year again when, according to a tropical astrology, the sun enters Leo. Being a sun sign Leo myself, I could not make mention of this miraculous period. Take advantage of Leo's abundant, generous blessings at any time while the sun is in Leo until August 22nd. Simply go outside holding a small offering such as a stone, a leaf, a flower, or some herbs. Face the sun and take 6 very deep breaths. Afterward declare, Mighty Leo, shining sun, I bless your light, please give me some. For the next 31 days, keep an eye out for signs from Leo, including your own shining personality shifts. And that's by Raven Digitalis.
I love that.
Yeah, me
I'm
too.
excited for Leo season aside from Mercury retrograde because Leo being in my rising always gives me like some fiery energy.
Yeah.
And inspiration. All right. Well, thank you for that.
Of course.
Okay, so hopping right back in. So we find out that Francesca was driving home from a party when a cop pulled her over. He walked up to her window and shined a light right in her eyes and then asked for her driver's license. He made her get out of the car and said if she would have sex with him, he wouldn't arrest her. She refused and he got angry. So she then pretended to pass out. He dragged her from the car and said he knew she was faking and that he was going to kill her. So she let him, not let him,
Actually,
but
essay her.
essay. Yeah.
Yeah.
He never said a word. And she said the car that he was driving was unmarked, red light on the dashboard, and it was dark blue or black. He did use a condom. Olivia asks her what he did with the wrapper, and she said that he put the wrapper in his pocket, and kept her driver's license as well. So basically he knows where she lives. However, we find out that Francesca's alcohol level was way over the legal limit. Finn thinks that she might be lying to get out of a DWI, and they find out that she had 2 prior DUIs. Olivia thinks that she's telling the truth because the cases are too similar. Finn still argues that she's lying. Cragen says they should investigate and gives orders, which we appreciate
Yes.
because we believe in support survivors.
Yes.
Um, they go to the bar where Francesca was at before getting behind the wheel of the car. The bartender knew her right away and her drink order, basically saying that, she was throwing them back at the bar. Legal adult is her right. Apparently she was making out with a guy at the time, and the bartender says he was blonde and tall. They go to talk to Francesca about this, and she says she didn't leave with anyone, but Olivia basically says, stop lying. She did actually leave with a guy who's married, and she didn't want to get him involved in the police investigation. They had had sex in her car, but he called a cab home. And when she started driving to leave that incident is when she got pulled over. Olivia and Finn were called to a new crime scene. The lab/crime scene guys point out that the tire tracks link the cases together. They're able to identify that it's the same car. They also let the detectives know that the blue fibers found under Paula's nails were from NYPD issued uniforms. Munch pulled a list of cops that it could potentially be, and he's narrowed it down to about 2. Finn says it can't be one of them because the guy's wife died, so he gets a pass. But this means they have to involve IAB. Who do you think that means is coming over?
Oh, I don't know.
I couldn't have guessed. Olivia and Finn meet with one of Olivia's former bosses that works with the 2 cops that it was narrowed down to. The guy calls them his problem children. They bring in the big collars, which is why he hasn't canned them yet. Olivia asks if they can chat with them, and he says he doesn't mind, but they might. So Olivia and Finn go to stop the 2 cops, and they say they caught 2 cases on the west side. They say they weren't there that night, and they have been looking for the car ever since then. This is where a little tension starts with Olivia and Finn, because Finn basically accepts that answer and is ready to move on, where Olivia's upset because she knows, because Olivia's intuition is so good. She knows that something's not right. And Finn says he calls it as he sees it. I would like to point out, I think Finn is just a younger detective at this point in time. I don't think the 2024 Finn would approach it the same way.
No, and I think because he's still so new to SVU, he still has some of that narcotics thinking.
That's what I was about to say, is he's treating it like a narc case.
Yeah.
But now we get to see, I wrote Ed motherfucking Tucker in all caps. Tucker's here. Tucker argues with Cragen because they spoke to the target without them, meaning IAB has been investigating them for 6 months. 6 months, and no one said anything. Tucker couldn't find the girl they were looking for, which was a sex worker that the 2 cops in question had assaulted, and they haven't been able to find her, which is why the investigation has been going on for so long.
I know we hate Tucker in these seasons, but I just have to say, his eyes still get me.
I know. And I don't even hate him that much. I know we're supposed to, but he's just doing his job. He's
Yeah.
always just been doing his job, and he does his job well. It's just unfortunate that it interferes with us so often.
Yeah. I used to hate him.
Yeah, I hated him back in the day. I
Previously.
don't anymore.
No.
But so this part is kind of cute and has nothing to do with the episode, but it's just how Munch and Finn episodes play out. But Munch basically Finn is frustrated because they don't know the real reason Munch broke his leg, and so he's trying to get Munch to tell them the story. And Munch calls Finn out on having a son that he's never mentioned, who is 18. And I just think it's funny because their later friendship, even up to current years, is very sweet and loving and of the best friend variety. But in
Yeah.
these early days, it's funny to see them getting to know each other.
Yeah.
So we find out that IAB actually got this case through an anonymous tip. Olivia and Finn go to talk to other sex workers about Raquel, who was the one that they can't find. And Marcosi, which is one of the two cops, the sex workers tell them that Marcosi came up and gave her a cigarette, and she gave him a freebie to get her case dropped. She thought that she was going to have a get out of jail free card by continuously hooking up with this guy. IAB had come to talk to the sex workers about Raquel about 6 months ago, and then nothing really happened after that. Apparently, these two cops got their tires replaced on their car, saying there was an ice pick stuck in them, so they just replaced all four, which is convenient. And then they also had the underneath of the car washed because it was muddy. Okay. Tucker and Alex are now in the squad room. Marcosi gets rid of evidence if they go public, and Cragen asks Alex to move fast or we're gonna lose him. So basically, Alex needs a warrant like pronto, and every time Alex needs to go get a warrant, she fights back.
Yeah.
But reluctantly goes and gets one anyway. So that's what happened. Olivia and Finn go to the locker room where Marcosi works to get into his locker. Once they open it up, there's tons of pictures of naked women pasted up and down. Classy.
Yeah.
Olivia gathers a bunch of his stuff, including porn that he has in his locker. When he comes to protest this happening, they show him the warrant, and he says he has nothing to hide. So back in the squad room, they interview Marcosi. He refuses to bring a union rep because maintains he has nothing to hide. He says they are, where am I? He says they are checking the area and they had the car cleaned because it was covered in mud. The tires were repaired because of the ice pick. He says he hasn't committed a crime because he never paid the women that he slept with. Okay. He says he didn't do anything to Raquel. He says, I break the rules, but I get results. Which the funny thing about that is it's giving Baby Benson.
Yeah. It's giving Elliot Stabler.
Oh, yeah.
Hardcore.
Mm-hmm. He says he puts himself at the crime scene because he was down there the night of the murder because he claims that he had a date. He says he doesn't even know the name of the girl he picked up. Cragen pulls them out of interview, says there's a new victim, and Olivia is confused because Marcosi's been there with them, and Cragen says it's because the victim was too scared to report before. Cragen also calls in Huang, which I think is so cool.
Yeah.
I was so excited. So the victim says that a cop pulled her over and told her to get out of the car and take off her clothes. Her name is Stacia, which I think is beautiful. Huang asks her if the man had issues performing sexually, and she says yes. At one point, he lost his erection. She opened her eyes, and then he slapped her, which turned him on, and he started again. Olivia pulls out basically like a physical lineup like of pictures of people instead of doing an in-person lineup to see if Stacia could sorry, I keep feeling like I'm about to sneeze. If Stacia could identify the guy, but she says it was too dark to see his face. Graves, Marcosi's partner, however, isn't talking. Huang says the police officer uniform usually inflates the guy's ego. He's profiling right now. inflates the guy's ego and gives him power. He gets off of violence. Huang goes to talk to Marcosi. He says when he collars perps, he does feel a real rush. He says he can't help it if women come looking for him. And he says he will stand in a lineup to prove he didn't do it. Olivia and Finn go to look for Francesca to get her for the lineup, and her friends say that she was taken by a cop. Marcosi was still in interview, so they can rule him out for now. What if the guy is some rando playing dress up as a cop? Ed, I wrote this in here, but I wrote Ed Tucker is being uncharacteristically helpful, LOL, because every time they come up with a new theory, he's like, okay, I'll make a call. Okay, I'll look into that. Okay, and I'm like, since when is he so agreeable?
This was his first episode, so
That's fair.
you know.
But, um, Olivia and Finn go to talk to Marcosi again, just to, further their investigation, but also they kind of are like apologizing for thinking it was him. They say they were just doing their jobs. They tell him what happened with Francesca, and Marcosi tells them to go to hell. And honestly, I can't totally blame him for feeling that way.
Yeah.
You know. Back in the squad room, Finn and Tucker debate the case. Tucker says he's going to make a call. Munch found 13 people it could potentially be, but that will take way too long. And then Tucker found a lead. Woo!
Yay, Tucker.
So they basically find a costume type shop that sells fake uniforms and such from the NYPD. Everything over the counter was legit, but Olivia asks for the sales records so they can look through the history. People who have purchased uniforms. Sorry, guys, I'm trying not to sneeze. Marcosi shows up at the squad room, and while they're kind of like debating the case, and he says he saw a car the night of the murder and got a license plate. Apparently, there's only one car in the city that matches that plate that's unmarked. The guy's name is Jeffrey, and they look at the costume shop list and find a Jeffrey Trapper is on the list for buying a red dash light to put in his car, which would make it look more like a cop car. Munch calls Alex for a warrant. Olivia, Finn, and Tucker go to Jeffrey's apartment. And Olivia says they were here after seeing what the bed looked like. They keep looking. Cragen and Alex then respond to the scene, and Cragen gives orders. Olivia and Finn go to the park to look for the guy, and they actually spot him. So he's cleaning up trash at the park. They sit down on a bench and watch him picking up the trash, and then Olivia calls Munch and says they're at the park and that he's not there. And this is what turns, because Finn and Olivia were having like a little bit of tension this whole episode, and Olivia making this decision made Finn like her even more, I think. So from here, Finn and Olivia follow the guy. They end up at a cop bar, and he's drinking, just like sitting at the bar. Finn orders 2 beers, and they start talking shop where the guy can hear them. They start bragging about being really close to finding the victims and finding the guy. And he takes off at this point. From there, they follow him again. And Olivia's bitching to Finn about driving too slow, which I find amusing. She's because they're just like half a second behind the guy. And Finn's like, he would have made us if we were following him too close. He would have known we were following him. So, fair point.
Yep.
As they walk in the building where they think he could be, there's a room like towards the back of the stairs. And Olivia basically says, let's go look in there. She busts open the door, and you can see Francesca is handcuffed to to the wall, and she's laying on a mattress. And behind Francesca on the wall is a bunch of different women's driver's licenses. She said that Francesca said she was going to be next, meaning that I believe he was going to kill her. And Finn looks at her and covers her up with a blanket and says that he can't hurt her anymore. The wall of IDs basically confirms that he was the guy that committed all the murders and the essays.
Mm-hmm.
And then we Dick Wolf.
Dick Wolf.
This is one of those episodes too where I think the Dick Wolf is so interestingly timed.
Yeah.
Because it just kind of cuts off the episode.
Yeah.
And you're left with having to infer what happened from there.
Mm-hmm.
And when I first started watching SVU, I always thought that was cool because it was the first time I'd ever really watched a show that would do that, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of the opposite of a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's the episode. If you guys are still hanging out, I'm gonna let Koli, or did you already shuffle?
No, I'm shuffling now.
Okay. I'm going to let Koli shuffle their cards. And in the meantime, you guys can go over to Instagram and follow us at SVU Coven. We do post a lot over there. We have a free Discord server, which you can find in the link in our Instagram bio, or you can email us for it, whatever the case may be. It's free to join and would be super fun to have you guys over there. We also have merch through Fourth Wall, which if you guys buy any merch, we would love to see you with it. So please send us photos, tag us, whatever. The proceeds go to Fourth Wall as well as to us, and we put that back into the show. Also, if you're interested in sponsoring the show or being on the show, have questions for us, anything like that, even if you want us to run an ad or just have a personal note to send us, you can email us at svucoven@gmail.com. Koli does check the emails, so someone will be responding. And she shares them with me, so I also see them.
Yes.
We love getting emails from you guys, so svucoven@gmail.com is the best place to reach us.
Yes.
Ooh.
Okay, so I pulled the Fool.
That's my card.
That's your card.
It's my
And
favorite card.
it has a little puppy on it too. The guy's walking a dog.
I love puppies.
I'll send you a picture of this so you can see it because my background is blurred.
Good.
So, the Fool means beginnings, innocence, spontaneity, and a free spirit. So, I feel like this is appropriate for where we're at right now. With SVU starting season 26, it's a new beginning. Kind of like, I don't know.
It's a fresh start as
Yeah.
also astrologically, we're about to go into a new season and all of that stuff. We're in 2024, new election cycle.
Yeah.
All of those things. And I also find the Fool to be a reminder not to be naive as you go into these new things.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
That kind of thing. The cards never lie.
Cards never lie.
Well, thank you.
This is your second episodic reminder to rate, review, subscribe, like, and comment. Rating, reviewing, and subscribing are really important on audio-only platforms. They tell the algorithm that you like us. The reviews will bump us up in the algorithm. And they will recommend us to other people. Subscribing, liking, and commenting on YouTube are really important because, again, they bump us up in the algorithm. They'll push us out to other people. And we appreciate the energy exchange for all of that. It's a wonderful thing to do.
Yeah. And if you're watching us on YouTube right now, I'm usually hanging out down in the comments. Drop your favorite emoji down in there and I'll know that you came from this episode.
Yes. Katie's always hanging out in the comments.
Well, that's our show.
That's our show.
All right. Well, I love you and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, love you too.
Blessed be.
Blessed be.